welcome to the Artist Behind the Music Canadian edition. Today we have Zachary Simon with us from Ontario. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm actually a Calgary boy as my roots are, but I'm living over here in Toronto now. But
that's right.
Can't let that one slide. My friends and family would kind of roast me for being straight around that one. So,
how long have you been out in Toronto for?
I've lived here for about 2 years.
And do you like it? What's better, Calgary or Toronto?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, around Christmas and the holidays, Calgary is pretty amazing. Going to the rink by my house, little shed there. There's like hot chocolate, all my friends skating around, and so that's kind of unbeatable. Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of things kind of change at home as you grow older, and it's not quite the same. Like my dog died, and like my grams passed away, so coming back home is always kind of a bittersweet sort of thing. So it's kind of, Toronto's been a great kind of new beginning for me, and so I am loving it here and the opportunity here. Obviously recently it's kind of slowed down a bit, but it's been just an amazing change for me and kind of a whole renaissance personally, just being in Toronto. So
yeah, it's so true. They're very different places, but both magical in a different kind of way, right? Those
yeah,
have two homes, if you will, that you can connect
with. Calgary, like when past kind of 8 o'clock, you go outside and you hold your breath and nobody is moving. In the winter, it's so silent, but here it's just always moving, and no matter the time of day, there's just like an Uber driver like nearly running you over, or like it's just like a madhouse over here. But I am kind of getting used to the big city energy, and I'm kind of enjoying it more and more as I spend time here. But yeah.
Cool. Would you find that musically you're inspired differently being in Toronto?
That's actually a good question. Sometimes I wonder, like when I go home and I visit, I definitely feel like I write. I just kind of rediscover my roots when I go home. So I kind of remember the things that I really love about music, and I listen. I'm a very kind of nostalgic person, so I'll listen to my old favorite artists and kind of remember what inspired me. So, but when I come here, I kind of have evolved a lot in my writing and in my taste. So I do think there's probably a difference when I write a song back home or when I come back to Toronto and have it go here. So I think that's probably an interesting question. I should make a little chart and see, compare.
Yeah, location.
Yeah.
Feeling, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are some of your biggest influences? You mentioned you like to come home and listen to artists that you love growing up. Who would some of those be?
Yeah, I would say most of my favorite artists are kind of the people I listened to in my most formative years, like when I was kind of, in grade 9, 10, 11. And one artist that always stands out to me that I always give as a reference is Atmosphere. He's an kind of underground hip hop artist.
I can't lie, I don't even know who that is.
yeah, no, it's like most. You're not alone. You're not alone. Like he's actually, especially like if you're not into underground hip hop or like indie hip hop, he's not well known, but in the kind of hip hop community, he is a legend. And he's just got like his style really, really kind of reached out and grabbed me when I was a kid, because he's kind of like, he had this like rebellious feel, and he's very lyrical, just like brilliant lyrics and this crazy emotion in his voice. And then above all, I think he just is very truthful. Like he would just kind of say things that nobody else was saying, and it just really connected with me. Like, talking about the inner workings of his suffering and his struggle. And even though I was like this kid growing up in the southwest of Calgary, I was like, yeah, that's me, man. That's me. Like, I get it. I didn't, but you feel it.
In our own way, though. I mean, I think it's fair to say that we all struggle throughout life in different shapes and forms, and it's not to say that one's worse than the other. And I think sometimes people are in more fortunate situations than others, but there's still human emotion that's tied to us all, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
We all feel struggle in some way. I think that's something that can connect us worldly, kind of like right now in life. We're all struggling in some form, right? Just with everything going on in 2020, it's just been a crazy ride. How have you pivoted to adjust to kind of the new normal?
Yeah. Well, Well, kind of, I guess, just before COVID kind of happened, things were kind of starting to build momentum for me. I moved to Toronto to pursue a career as mostly a songwriter. And I kind of came with the idea of being an artist, but like I was definitely in my own way a lot and had a lot of self-doubt and all those classic things and imposter syndrome and all of those classic artist attributes, or somebody who hasn't started yet. But I was starting to get a lot of traction as a songwriter and starting to get into the room with different people and writing kind of with different labels and kind of getting my name out there. And then COVID happened, and then it just kind of felt like everything was lost. And like the studio I worked at a lot as well, it kind of dissolved. It was this really amazing hub of like culture, and you'd show up there and there'd be people working on music in every room, and there was just this liveliness to it. And then it kind of all just dropped off. And so for a couple months, it was very kind of feeling stagnant and a little sad. But at the same time, then I just kind of stopped having enough time, or I stopped having sessions with other people, and I just kind of started focusing on my own project. And the first time I ever started like releasing my own stuff has been over this pandemic. So in many ways, it's been just, I needed the world to kind of turn on its head in order to propel me forward, and just realize that like, you know, life is fragile, and it's short, and it's important to just like forget, I don't know, just get out of my own way and start releasing music. So it kind of began for me doing these kind of like silly mini songs on Instagram, and like some of them, you know, the quality of them will range, but you know, they've been very liberating for me, because my biggest issue has not, it's been just getting in front of people. I think that's been my biggest problem, is the fear and anxiety of being bad, or being seen, being on the internet circulating when I'm not there, and wondering, you know, like, you know, all the things you tell yourself that can be really negative. So for me, a huge thing has been just like doing these little mini songs, and just getting used to being in front of people, and then at the same time just like improving my skill. And that's in return kind of attracted me some fans, and then I released my first 2 singles, so that was great. And then my third single is coming up in a couple of weeks. So basically my whole music career has been encompassed in this pandemic.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
interesting. And I love that you kind of pivoted to your own well-being. Like what is it that I need to feel the best that I can feel? And
Oh,
you
absolutely.
nailed it. Like get out of your own way. And I think the thing that stops all of us, it's not external forces of luck or who you know. I think a lot of times it's like you don't feel good enough, so you don't put yourself out there, and not you,
Yeah.
people in general.
Yeah,
It's like another
for
human
sure.
emotion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, resistance comes in a million ways, like from the external world, like it is there, and luck is a part of it. But primarily, I agree, like the resistance comes from yourself, and like, and just like it has a lot to do with um, just being more comfortable with who you are, and you know, just being okay with your truth as a person, and yeah, it's so complicating, and it's such an intricate issue. But like the more that I release music and the more I put myself out there, the easier it gets. Like even the first couple times I posted on Instagram, that whole day I was like, I couldn't look at my phone. Like I'd put it away, and like if it lit up, I was like, oh my God, like I actually felt sick about it. Like I don't know if that's like a normal sort of anxiety. I'm sure like people can relate, but like yeah, it's intense.
It is intense, and especially with social media, it's you're putting yourself out there, and you don't know who you're putting yourself out there to. It could be people that love you, and it could be people that maybe don't like what you're doing and have judgment based on their own stuff,
For
right?
sure.
And
Yeah.
it just sucks when you see someone doesn't like what you're doing. It kind of stings a little, right? And I don't think it matters what level you're at. If someone
No.
vocalizes they don't like you in a public platform, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel good.
For sure. And I think that was part of my naivety at the beginning, is wanting to win them all. And like that's just not gonna happen. But you know, like you win some. And like now that I've won some, and like people that I don't know, and like have like sort of fans that like message me like, and you know, one of the coolest things actually when I first released Broke, which was my first single, this kid, like, I don't even know, he was like, I can't remember which state he's from, but this American kid posted a video of himself, and he had memorized the whole rap verse to my song. And that was just like, you know, I was like, obviously your friends like it, your family likes it, but then all of a sudden this kid who's like I said, like in those formative years, and he's listening and singing along to my song, and he knows the words. I was like, you know what, like the whole world can hate this song, like this kid likes it, and that's fucking awesome. So
yeah, it's like when we start focusing in on, you know, what we love, or the people that love us, all of a sudden the other things disappear, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, and kind of before, like when we were chatting before you hit record, it's kind of that idea of, you know, the end goal is about connecting with people, and it's not like, for me anyway, like I want to feel understood as a person, but I also hope that my listeners feel understood and connect with the truth of that, and having yeah, so I think that connection aspect is kind of my main goal, and that to me is kind of the greatest success I can have, even if it's on a small scale. So
absolutely. And I think success can be measured in so many different ways for so many different people, and there's not just one route to success, and there's not one answer to success. So I guess, just, you may have already said this, but what is success to you? Is it that connection with one person, or does it go beyond that?
You know, I think it right now, like it goes beyond that in material ways. Obviously you want to start really profiting off your music. Like if you're like, that is a huge element of success, is like, you know, you have to find a way to make it sustainable. And like, so in that regard, yeah, like I think it would be great to collect some royalties and, like, you know, make some cash doing what I love. So that's kind of this kind of surface level idea of success. But like, you know, I think success has been, to me, getting out of my own way, releasing the music, and then, you know, every song I write, I'm getting a little better at being honest and truthful, and like every song I write is getting better. And I think with every release I put out, they're just going to be a better reflection of who I am, and like just finding more ways to express myself that that I connect with. So I think the success is the progress, and so it's just so many different things to me that you can kind of measure it in. So
yeah, and I think it continuously changes too, right? And I think knowing that today this is what my success looks like, and tomorrow it might be different, and that's okay. But always moving forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. How did you push through that resistance this year of putting your song out there, like getting out of your way, hitting upload, and sending it out to the world? What kind of
Oh my God. It's hard to remember because I think I blacked out for a month there, but my producer Michael, he's become a very close friend of mine, and we've had a lot of like very like kind of deep discussions of you know, just moving forward and how to kind of get out of your own way, and so that was a big thing. But you know, another way I kind of broke that resistance is because I also kind of want to see more people doing it, right? And like part of it, it's not like I think of myself as like a martyr or anything, but like I was like, you know what, like there's a lot of my friends who are like incredible artists, and I've heard so many great songs that never got released, and people just don't like it. The problem is not talent, it's not work ethic, it's just like, oh, this song doesn't fit my brand, maybe the next one will, or like there's so many reasons why people don't do it. And I think at that time I was so eager to just release it, because I've seen so many people falling into the trap, including myself, of just waiting to be ready. And I don't think I got so many different opinions about it, like some of my friends like Aaron Pollock and Ruben Young, like they're such talented artists, and they were kind of in the mindset, you know, like don't release a song until you're like really ready, and you like, they kind of come from it from like a more like make sure it's the right song, which I totally like respect. And I think that that's one way to go. But my personality is like, I got to start going. Otherwise I'm just going to stop. And for me, like the resistance always is something that I need to break through as I go, and I can't face it all in the beginning. So it was more just like blindly put it out there and then see all of like deal with the repercussions later sort of thing. So.
And like, really, there's been no repercussions. I feel like the success you've had with your releases this year has been great. The sound that you've put out is catchy and fun and hooky, and it's good vibes you're putting out there. And I think that's important.
Honestly, like just even from just like a very basic standpoint, like it's just given me a really good platform for the next ones, right? Like it's not like there were like hits or anything, but it's just like awesome for me now, because now when I go to release this next song coming up, it's like I have all the infrastructure, I have all of like, I have a bunch of like fans and followers, so, and it just allows me to like just get my songs heard easier. So it's in my mind it's been really beneficial, and like I'm sure in like a year I'll look back and I'll be like, oh, like maybe I should take those songs down, but for now I'm like proud of it, and I'm excited.
Right? The more we put out, the more we have to build on, whatever that looks like, whether it's content or music or videos or whatever, right?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, just continuous growth. That's how I like to look at it. Well, it's inspiring. I love having conversations like this with people that are pushing through that resistance and that fear and just letting themselves shine for who they are. And, you know, we were talking a little bit too about just being vulnerable and open to who you are as a person. And I think that's another thing that's so important in this industry, is just sharing that, you know, you are just human sharing your story, and that's what people can connect with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a process every day to allow myself to be more vulnerable and allow myself, especially, you know, just getting used to being in the public eye. And like even this right now, like talking to you, this is my first like interview, and yeah, so it is a different, it's learning how to wear different hats. But ultimately, like, you know, I was thinking about even just coming to talk to you because it is my first interview. It's like, you know, what's the persona, right? Like, am I myself, or am I like this artist version of myself, or am I like, do I try to be this, do I try to be that? And then, you know, as soon as I start talking, I kind of lose all of those kind of preset ideas of who I'm supposed to be.
I'm so glad you said that. Because you're not alone in feeling like that. It's like, who am I supposed to be? Well, who are you? Be you, right? Like, let's all just be ourselves and stop thinking we need to be something greater and bigger than because you are perfect.
I always settle on trying to be somebody else, and then as soon as I start opening my mouth, it doesn't work. Like I always like blow my cover as like a cool, mysterious guy in the first 30 seconds. So
but I think that's, you know, that's good. And I think that's important to share thoughts like that with people, because you're not alone in that feeling. You're not alone in that thought process. And just people can hear stories like this, it makes that fear shrink just a little bit, right? Just knowing that, oh, I'm not the only person that didn't know how to act or how to feel or how to be or what to say, you know?
It's, I think it's just remembering that, like, it kind of exactly what you're saying. It's like when people are listening, they're thinking more about themselves and like how they are affected. You know what I mean? Like I find when I'm like, a lot of my nerves and especially earlier on, it's because like I think my ego was more fragile, and now it's like, you know, people don't care that much about me, right? Like they care about themselves and they care about how I relate to them, and like, and so
yeah, exactly. Well, on that note, I would love to hear you perform for us if you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. I might need to get my guitar in too.
Yeah, get your stuff and we'll be here.
Cool. So I guess by the time this interview is released, sorry, I've got my door open because I'm trying to embrace the last good weather. I guess it's not really that nice outside, but I'm really trying to milk summer into late November here.
As much as you can. I'm all for that for sure.
So this song is called Dockside, and it should be released by the time this interview comes out. And I think personally it's one of the more important songs I've written. It's about kind of my family, and we used to go up to the lake every summer, and this is that. So I'll just let you kind of make your own mind up about it. That's not right. Chilling on the dark side, you're seeing your whole life, how it's all gone by way too fast. Standing in the sunlight with your fingers closed tight around the waist of an hourglass. Flip it on his head and we'll do it again. Make everything now like it was back then. We were in the good life, chilling on the dark side. Yeah. Your dreams and your memories collide. Pillow taking you for a ride to an old familiar July, to a moment nearly so picture perfect that a tear starts forming in your eye. You sigh and catch your reflection in the still water. No gray hair, no double chin. You hear the call of your daughter. Father of three, better snap out of your daydream. Ready to ski, dad, don't keep him waiting. Barefoot smiling at the end of the dock. You think if this is a dream, then I don't want to wake up. If this is a dream, then I don't want to wake. If this is a dream, then I don't want to wake. Chilling on the dark side, you'll see in your whole life how it's all gone by way too fast. Standing in the sunlight with your fingers closed tight around the waist of an hourglass. Flip it on his head and we'll do it again. Make everything now like it was back then. We were in the good life, chilling on the dark side. But you wake up 2 decades later, sad smile on your lips while the sweet dream is savored. You remember that the young girl is now a young woman. The 2 little boys turn late 20-something, but you still picture them running around in life jackets, asking you and mom to sleep, all 3 of them in the same mattress. And you wish it were the same now. Hit the brake and take them back to the lake house. And it's causing you pain now, knowing there's no turning back. Wander down the lane of memory, take a drive up to the lake. They were young and innocent in the summer yesterday. Yeah, in the summer yesterday, in the summer yesterday. In the summer yesterday, in the summer yesterday. Chilling on the dark side, you're seeing your whole life, how it's all gone by way too fast. Standing in the sunlight with your fingers closed tight around the waist of an hourglass. Flip it on his head and we'll do it again. Make everything now like it was back then. We were in the good life, chilling on the dark side. Yeah, that's that.
I love that. That's so good. Dude, there's no reason to have fear. Like, you're so talented and you need to just like throw that out into the world with confidence.
Thank you. Right? I felt like I just swallowed a pile of sawdust right before I started singing that. So hopefully that first couple.
No, it was great. It was great. You know what? You got to go with it when things like that happen. I was doing an Instagram live once and I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden my throat just was like, we're not singing anymore. And it was just like this hack fest and I'm this close to the screen. You can't run. You can't go anywhere. You're just,
oh my God.
You just got to laugh and go with it, right?
That's so funny. I mean, it's something that like when you don't perform a lot, because like I just sing that's like I've sang that song a million times, but like it's so weird. As soon as you like know you're doing it in front of people, your body does things to you. Like you just like lose saliva and like you start shaking and like playing too fast or too slow. It's like it's super weird, but
yeah, no, it's so true. And I think every artist that you would ever talk to would agree with that. Do you have any tools that you use to recenter yourself in those moments? Are you still figuring that out?
I'm still figuring it out, but I think a big tool that I like to just to remember is like just to remember what you're saying, because like it's super easy to just think about like how you look or the performance or like how you sound, but then just remembering what you're saying, like what the song means to you, and making sure you're telling the story, because you know I work really hard to tell the story, and like you don't want it to be overshadowed by a really bad performance, but like I think if you just focus on the actual like lyrics and stuff, it works out okay.
That's good advice. Focus on what you're saying.
Yeah,
that's your truth, right? So that helps a lot. Cool. Let's hear another one.
Okay, cool. So when this one comes out, it'll when this interview comes out, this will still be unreleased, so it's gonna be my single after this. It's called Just Another Day. It's yeah. Waking up, throat is froggy. She called me later than I would have liked last night. Slurring my words, need a coffee. I'm groggy, take a sip and wipe the fog from my eyes. Cocktails are sweet dissatisfaction in my bachelor pad. I shake them and stir. Why melodies and physical stature? Guess I'm born. I always look for something more. Maybe I'll find it on another page. Another chord I strum, just another day. Just another taste of coffee on my tongue. I'll get lost, lose my head, find love, make a mess. It's just another day. Stepping out of my monstrous condo, people pushing like it's musical chairs. Strolling upstream through the traffic like salmon, jumping straight into the jaws of a bear. The city wants to engulf me, dissolve me, ever since I learned the secret of life. I can't remember the details, but trust me, I'll remember once again when I'm high. Maybe I'll find it on another page. Another chord I strum, just another day. Just another taste of whiskey on my tongue. I'll get lost, lose my head, find love, make a mess. It's just another day. That's that.
I love that one too. You got such a groovy feel-good vibe. I really like it.
I like your dancing. Thank you for bopping along over there.
No problem. That's what I'm here for. That's awesome though.
Pretty good.
Very good. Yeah, I'm excited for your releases and to see all the new, exciting, fun things that you're putting out into the world this year. I think you should be very excited for yourself and know that the resistance is always going to be there. Just a message to everyone, like it's always there. And it's just, we build tools and keep good people in your corner, right? To help you blast through those walls.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Crystal. That you're an excellent host.
Oh, thank you.
This is a lot of fun. So
well, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. I always like to leave with this question. If you had one message to share with the world, what would that be?
Get out of your own way. Same for the theme of our conversation. Just get out of your own way. There's enough things in your way.
Totally. Don't be one of them.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, Zachary Simon, thank you so much for joining us. You are an amazing artist and had great stories to share about being vulnerable and authentic to real life. So thank you for sharing your stories. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Crystal.